Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly meeting. This is our monthly video meeting and our weekly IRC meeting. So it's happening simultaneously. So you will see me type some things into the IRC channel, and if I'm slow to talk over here, it's because I'm adding some minutes. So if you feel like you should, type into the IRC channel, I'd encourage it as well. If you're dropping in links and such, please do directly on the IRC channel. At this point, we're still waiting for folks to join in. Let's give them a minute. I think we can get started. Let's see. So off the top of the list is the action items from the last time, and we've taken quite a few now that we've missed checking on it last week. So let's go back through that. Sorry, my computer is a little slow. Okay. Slavic's not able to join us as well. It's okay. So AI is from a couple of weeks ago, and then the last week. Last one was so let's start dumping a few things. So we had a note about Watcher, and it was to figure out what we do with the project leadership. And we started a thread on the OpenStack Discuss mailing list as we discussed. And so the outcome of the thread seems like there is an existing Watcher um, uh, maintainer that might be interested to continue in the core team, and there are new user contributor that are looking to continue keeping Watcher maintained. And so while they explored the options, we were trying to give them the option that the existing maintainer can be PTL, or they could propose a DPL model. I am going to wait. I think we should wait another week or so, and poke that thread again, trying to get something formalized on Gerrit. Uh, any thoughts on this?
Well, I would do this a bit earlier, I guess. Maybe Thursday or something, because waiting for another week, I wouldn't expect anyone to have any more activity unless we explicitly push the process. And with that, well, when I was reading Sean's email at very least, it felt to me that, okay, if there is no other choice, I can step in for DPL right now. But if there is anyone, I'd rather not. Probably we should double check with him if he's still okay or not when current maintainer appeared, because it could be that, yeah, it's not relevant anymore.
Okay.
So
Well, I
do you
mean,
intend to retire it, or I didn't get, because the retirement we should do when we know there is no maintainer, no one there to maintain. If we know the people and they're missing the process part, then we should just encourage them, right? Or help them to.
Yeah, for sure. I was meaning to help, current maintainer who stepped in for PTL role rather than do it TPL, because there was like some kind of uncertainty in there, at least at this moment.
Mhm. Yeah, because Son also interested to maintain, and we know like he's active contributor, so I don't see any risk or any issue that handing over. Even the old contributor, old previous PTL, he also emailed, but they are not proposing for PTL or DPL model. Then maybe you can just let Son go ahead and propose whatever he thinks they think PTL or DPL model.
So, so sorry, but as far I can see, at least because someone said basically he would like to continue to maintain Watcher. Maybe for at least for this cycle, maybe you should be using, as you said, G-Man, about that. Maybe you should for this cycle.
Your voice is breaking, Selena, or it's just me?
No, it's breaking for me as well.
Yeah, breaking. Yeah.
That's
Still breaking. I think some network issue. Can you
Yeah.
try again?
Suggestion is also try without your camera on for bandwidth issues.
Mm.
It's breaking up for him as well, I think. Um,
Oh,
s-
yeah.
all right. So, Dimitri, if I understood what you're saying just push them to submit a patch, right? That's what we want to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. And actually ask Sean if he's still considering for taking DPL because it was like stated that he might be willing to take or do something, but I think it implies that if it's nobody else to step
Yeah,
in, kind of.
makes
Yeah.
sense. I can respond to that mail thread and ask for an update this week.
Sylvan said I was saying that maybe we should use the DPL support for this cycle.
Awesome. All right. Anything else to be said about this? Let's move on to the next one. That would be to propose um, marking career-related projects inactive, and this is mainly two specific projects: Career Kubernetes and Career Tempest plugin. And Gman had this AI, and there's a link on Gerrit where this proposal is being made. So I was just trying to bring it up here so we can get some reviews. And so we had to do something unorthodox, right? Last time, which is not last time, as in this week and the last week. So Courier Kubernetes and Courier Tempest plugin are not being released with the Dalmatian release. So we're already considering them inactive. And the reason they're not being released is because the CI jobs are currently broken. And we are not able to determine who is broken if we don't release this project. So we did ask on the mailing list. And so if anybody responds, we'll know. But for Tacker's purpose, I think I mean, we could just request a branch for 2024 or two, or have Tacker use a tagged version of Courier Kubernetes when they're trying to deploy and test with DevStack. So that there are some options in case the Tacker team
Mm.
is held up on testing their project. But there was a decision made not to release these two projects in 2024
Yeah.
two.
At least marking these inactive will clear to release team that these are not maintained, and like whatever Tacker has dependency, even though Tacker team is working to remove the dependency, but still, as you mentioned, we have option for using the previous tag or previous release. But yeah, I think we should have marked it inactive, but the retirement was happening, so we didn't do that. Just better documentation to keep it inactive at least until we figure out the retirement thing.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So if we can get some reviews over there, that would be great. Anything else to be added to this? All right. Let's move on to the next AI, which was we were looking to do a cross-project session at the PTG to discuss translating documentation and improving stuff for, I mean, code and documentation for non-English speaking users. So this is now being scheduled. It's on the PTG planning Etherpad, if you're interested. And it'll be chaired by Songshu, and um, I should chat with him again to figure out if he's got all the context. Um, but I'll also start. Adding some timelines around this. So we'll talk about this in a little bit around you know adding things on the formal schedule. But for now, we're gonna have a session, and we'll be talking about this. I do see some notes from Sylvain, and there was a forum session Etherpad. Okay, cool. I'll mention this in my ping to Songshu today.
I guess I'm a bit confused about state of translations right now, because I eventually, so I'm registered as one of translators to one of languages, and I tried actually to push, to do some updates to Horizon translations on master and to other projects during September, and I don't see actually automated updates coming, despite like translation should meet the criteria,
Hmm.
at very least for Horizon. So and I know that it should be like rolled out pretty much automatically, or well, at least it should be proposed automatically. So um,
Okay. And this is something that the I-18 and team can help with, right?
yeah, I guess so.
All
But
right.
probably good. But yeah, I mean that this probably is a very good idea to have such a cross team section.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Makes sense. We can actually add this as a subtopic on that thing. Because I think Ian will be joining as well.
So we can repeat questions.
Right. Thank you. Anything else about this action item? Dimitri, if you have a link or something, or the name of a person that we can go chase, feel free to add that.
This is probably part of my confusion because I'm not really sure.
Okay, whether they've done the translation work at all.
Oh, translation, it was me who did it.
Okay, and that was on Zanata, right? The
Yeah, it was on Zanata. It was for Horizon, I guess. It was a couple of changes to Nova something API, and it was to OpenStack Ansible. And I don't see any of this
Yeah,
being proposed from Zanata.
I see. Yep, it's been a while, but I don't. Yeah, I can check if there was any open changes. Okay, but it's worth asking Ian as well. All right. If there's nothing else, let's move on to AIs from the last week. We had a couple of them. We were looking at the TC chair and vice chair formalization that merged thanks to the votes. And there was another one on monitoring courier and Zune's deliverables. So I just wanted to mention this that we had a lot of activity that happened after this meeting. So thank you, Dimitri, for figuring out what was wrong with Zune CI and fixing it. We did have a pretty good discussion on what to do when deliverables are out of whack towards the end of the release. But we didn't have to take any of those actions thanks to the gate fixes that you were able to contribute, as well as I did notice that they had fixed something in Courier lib network themselves, which enabled the release eventually from both of them. And we ended up just not releasing the two Courier projects that we don't have any account of whether there is any users affected yet. So all in all, that looks great, and we are headed to an on-time release tomorrow. I don't see any flags from the release team that are concerning. And Thierry's email looked good as well. Does anybody want to bring up any issues?
I, for one, am excited to see all the Dalmatians. But no, I think we're in a really good place for it. I think Allison has 4 or 5 people for the live session.
All right. With that, let's move on to regular programming. So the next topic on the agenda was the meeting time. And I'm not sure we have great news here. So we had a poll, and the poll was linked, and you can take a look at the results from the poll. It looks like we're still leaning on Tuesdays at 1800. And the reason I see is because there are 3 maybes, and a lot of people that can make it at that time. Whereas the 2 other slots that people preferred would be Thursdays at 1700 and Thursdays at 1800. But there are hard no's in that case, in both those cases where either Slavic or Artem cannot make it in one of those slots. And so I'm assuming at this point that we would keep the existing meeting time. How does that sound to everybody?
Well, I would say this would be fair for me.
Sorry, Gautam, which time you're saying?
6 p.m. UTC, I guess, on Tuesday.
So which is same as current time, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, it's same as current time.
same
I guess
time?
it was asking the ones who answered as maybe. So basically, it's
Yeah.
yeah, Flicker, Slavik, and Artyom.
Mm.
And I guess only Artyom is here today. So
Yeah, what should I say? Hopefully, with the times, winter time, it will be a little bit better, but still, it's quite uncomfortable that late.
Thursday, 17 UTC.
You see, getting at least 1 hour earlier would be already changing a lot.
Amy, I didn't understand the concern.
Oh, because you just asked all the maybes, and if Slavic was a maybe for this time, asking him if he was okay with the time would make sense when he's here and not sick.
We had at least 2 slots where Slavik was not able to make it, which is Thursdays at 1700 and 1800. Could be prior meetings.
Yeah, maybe Thursday 17 UTC we can check with Slavik if he cannot join or he can. Otherwise,
So we've let this soak for a week, so I don't want to keep it pending. Any objections to formalizing leaving the meeting at this time? I do want to check. I mean, these results are visible to you, right? Not just me.
yeah,
I can see them. Yeah.
I can see them.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's take the so I mean the good news is, I mean, or rather, I don't know how you want to look at it. Late sunrises and early sunsets are going to be a thing soon, which means the clocks are winding up, at least in some parts of the world. So if you have some daylight saving changes that are happening in your time zone, this might actually be sooner in your day than prior. So I'm hoping things can still work out. All right. Let's move on to the next topic, which is a TC election liaison. This is quite early. We just concluded elections, but I do like, the aspect that we picked our liaisons pretty early last time, and we picked our election officials pretty early last time, and I was the TC election liaison for which is it's a totally informal role, really, for somebody that's going to be in the TC, keeping up with the officials, trying to report back to the TC how things are going, and being there, being able to help with code reviews and code merges in the election repository, and ensuring a smooth election process. We're not due for elections until I think around the February timeframe, I think, is when we should be looking at elections next. But either case, I mean, it's never a bad time to start, putting people in the position to think about, maybe tooling changes, maybe other things that are required. So just a call out here, there are 4 of us that are not getting re-elected, that are not going to be running for re-election in the upcoming elections. So I just wanted to reach out to you and ask if any of you is interested to be a TC election liaison. That doesn't mean you're an election official. You can be an election official as well. But I was going to go put out a call for election officials on the mailing list, and you can all
Sure,
volunteer to be an election official as well.
sure, sure. If yeah, I mean,
So
if I
does
can
anybody
help,
want to put their hand up now?
yeah, I mean, yeah, if I can help, then sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Not sure if Gautam can hear. Seven.
Yeah,
Gautam
so I was
can
saying,
hear
yeah,
us.
I will write it.
Okay. So I mean, if you're interested, you could always reach out to me as well, and we can chat. And I mean, I can tell you the role doesn't mean, oh, cool, thank you. Um, Sylvan just said yes, but the role doesn't really need a lot, is what I understood. Apart from if you were like me and you wanted to learn what was happening, it's a good role to play. And you could also be the election official, as Slavak experienced last time, and it went great. He actually had some really cool ideas. He was able to implement them, make some code changes to the election repository, as well as learn from Ian, who has done a few elections, and from some other folks that are always ready to pitch in on the election channel. So it's a good learning experience one way or the other, whether you want to be the liaison or the election official or both.
Okay, cool,
All right.
cool. Thanks,
So I am
thanks.
going to consider Slavic's uh, volunteering, and if anybody else is interested, please let me know. And let's move on to the next topic. And this is our regular check on gate health. And I have one DevStack bug that I've encountered a lot in the recent times. And that's here. It looks like there's something broken in the script that parses the Zool inventory and creates the local.conf file, and it ends up not parsing some instructions from the base DevStack job, which might be misconfiguration in the Zool config, maybe some inheritance that's messing up, but I haven't been able to pinpoint what is going on. And so this makes the Zool jobs very unstable at the moment with anything to do with Ceph. But I was going to ask if folks have seen this elsewhere outside of the Ceph context.
Yeah, I've not seen that anywhere else. Yeah, I mean, we can check it after meeting.
Ironic notice
What
keystone has
exactly?
started breaking on Postgres. Okay.
So I'm just checking. Can you hear me or?
I have a feeling he doesn't hear anybody.
Yeah, anybody?
Sorry, I got distracted by something. What?
We're asking Gautam if he hears us, but seems like no. It's realized when Slevin was on entering for election official.
Oh, so we're asking Gotham if he can hear us.
Yeah.
Oops. Yes. Okay. I can confirm this is happening in other Postgres jobs as well. No.
Okay.
Sorry about that, but I certainly can't hear you, and I'm not sure if it's something to do with my output here. Just a second. Sorry. Oh, wow. Wow.
Can somebody try talking now?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry about that.
Yes, yeah.
I kept racing on, but I'm hoping I didn't miss somebody trying to talk over here, unmute and talk over here.
No, nothing basically. So, saying about this dive stack bug,
Yeah.
and we can check it offline because you need to still debug and see what's wrong.
Yeah, makes sense.
Another thing on gate TC is the granted job setup for the current master. So there are a couple of bugs happening there. I'll just link the patch here. So first one was OS test image repository in Joule configuration. So that I fixed again. Then after that, I encountered this domain ID bug, which happened from for the user creation. So that also I'm going to fix it because it is fixed in the latest OS, not latest, I mean fixed in the OSC, but that has to be released and upper constraint for master as well as for stable 2024.2. So that another domain ID thing I need to fix in Granite. So after that, the Granite job will be ready to test stable 2024.22 current master. Till then, it's testing the old one, which is 2024.12 master.
Yeah.
Skip level upgrade basically, uh, but yeah, this is the one information. If you see like Grenade is not testing correctly because it is, and the settings and configuration are not merged in the Grenade base, so due to these bugs.
Do you have a link for the second bug, the one with the domain?
So yes, I can link that one. Checking. So this is the OSC things for domain ID. The fixes are merged on master and stable 2024.2, but the release and upper constraint thing needs to happen so that our CI can do that. Swift faced this issue. Swift also fixed that by adding the domain ID parameter as a default. So same way we can add it in Granite for now and make things working. And once the later new OS is released and upper constraint, then it will work fine. So it's just Granite, but maybe some other project might be facing this domain ID thing. Yeah.
Sense. And with the requirements and upper constraints stuff, are we going to be on freeze until tomorrow, right?
Yeah, maybe doing those after release makes sense. I mean, that's going to happen after release only. So
Yeah.
as long as like we fix in Granite and it makes working, so we are not in hurry to have that upper constraint update. Because I'm not sure if the fix or any other changes in OSC can go straight forward because it may require updates in other projects. So we'll get to know when the upper constraint proposal is there in Garrett and what all jobs failing or passing. So that can take time. So yeah, that's all on Granite thing. And that's all from my side on gate issues.
Thank you. I don't suppose the issue um, that Julia brought up to the mailing list regarding the Postgres breakage uh, is a bug yet on Keystone. All right. Any other gate issues to catch people up on?
I guess I just wanted to say that recently, I guess a couple of days ago, I actually spotted really very fast nodes being added to node pool. So our CI test reduced from like 1 hour, 20 minutes to 40 minutes or something like that. So I assume that a new racks or something like that was added with modern hardware to the pool, which is kind of nice overall.
I actually don't know if there's anything beyond Rax Flex that changed that situation there. But
Yeah, probably not because it's just very occasionally, and but it makes a really huge and visible difference.
very nice. Awesome. Anything else to be noted for this topic? Right. If not, let's move on to the TC trackers. We've all seen this before, and we haven't spoken about the 2024 um, the tracker in a while, and that was for good reason because we've been very good at fixing a lot of things, and I think this is the week to sunset this tracker. So I want folks to take a look at this tracker. We haven't added the latest updates. I will do so after this meeting, but I mean, so for many of them, the situation has not changed, right? And some of them that are left unfinished are things that we will continue into 2025.1. But we're in a really good place. with this tracking here. And I've already started moving things out to the next tracker, which is for the next release cycle. And I started throwing some things in there. And the one thing that we weren't doing so far was probably goal tracking. And we don't really need to do this in this talk, but I just wanted this Etherpad at least to be like a point place for other Etherpads that are already tracking those goals elsewhere. So I don't mind throwing in links over there. So I'd encourage you folks also to do that. And anything else that is left behind in the 2024.2 tracker, we'll bring it in here if it's still relevant.
Yeah, usually goal check we do in the PTZ thing, but it's a good idea if we can put it in tracker, because the structure for goal is they are not per cycle goal, they are mostly the active goal as long as they are finished.
Yeah.
So maybe adding those in tracker will be better than just discussing in PTZ and forget. I'll start that migrate CI to Ubuntu Noble Etherpad soon, and I can add that link there.
Thank you. All right. Is there anything in the 24.2 tracker that you folks were working on that you have an update for this meeting?
So we're having open discussion now, right? Or...
Yes, we can switch to that. Anything else for this topic?
Yeah, I was looking at some patch. I think it was actually Lazar assignment, which we have -1 currently on. And probably we should either somehow remind about this patch
Which one?
or still to try to update. I'm trying to find the link right now.
Was it a governance change?
Oh, sorry, it was Mistral. It was
Oh, Mistral.
Mistral.
Yes.
So
Yes. And it's kind of probably inconvenient for folks to tell us what we can do differently, right? And that was the questions that we'd asked of both the Mistral PTL as well as Tim Burke for Swift. So I was just hoping for a response, but that's not a blocker. I just was noting that when I rebased this patch, it rebased on a patch that we were resetting the appointments, and so it removed his name and his IRC and email and so on. So I just thought it's an opportunity to ask for a refresh on this patch, and throw in a few questions while we were there.
okay, I see. So it's not actually like blocked for real, and if anything, we just proceed with.
Yeah, if
Well,
he refreshes it with the correct details, we should proceed.
and that's where we do check actually, because maintaining that Mistral is one thing, like we have the core member there and they are doing merging the things and all. But if anyone is taking PTL responsibility, I really like them to be, active on these kind of like answering these questions or rebasing the stuff and all, because we have really struggled for many projects where we have done the PTL appointment and PTL were not active, or they just disappear and they come up after next election. So if there is no rebase on this or if there is no clear question on these, I think that's the part of PTL appointment, not just the process or procedural things. It's the evaluation whether that candidate is, we think as a, like TC think as a good candidate for PTL or not, right? Because one thing we want from PTL is to be a active and contact point of view for all these kind of governance or procedural things. If they are not active, then it's a question like why we should appoint the PTL.
Yeah, but I mean, with that, it was to be a bit fair that it's very easy to slip a notification from Garrett if you haven't configured filters very well. So I sleep, and also like a lot of notifications from Garrett, especially at least for me, are going just to spam directly. So I easily can sleep like pings in Garrett.
Yeah.
Um,
So we can maybe ask these questions in mailing list then, or IRC.
yeah.
Somewhere like we should get a response from them whether they agree on these responsibility or activeness, as long as means we don't want them to be online always on Garrett and everything, but at least if they find time and they can respond like why the PTL appointment is okay for them, and if TC is having any question on evaluating their PTL appointment, so they answering and their answer is satisfying or not.
Yeah, that's what probably I wanted to. Yeah, probably we should just.
Thanks for bringing that up. And with the Tim Burke patch, I think that was the same thing. If he responds, great. But it's not stopping us from voting on it. We just didn't have a lot of folks looking at it until this week, I think. So if the votes tally, I don't mind us getting this merged and then hoping Tim's going to respond anyway. I mean, use this opportunity to ping him on IRC. So let's see if we can take a look at that patch.
Yeah, he's active on IRC. I think maybe this ping will work.
All right, this is open discussion. So feel free to raise your hand, drop things into IRC, or start talking. Okay, we're all very shy today.
Well, actually, I missed most of the TC meeting due to my Fedora issues with sound. Um, I will look at the recording of that meeting, but my question was more about the PTG, and I saw in the notes that we'll have like this kind of TC meeting for this kind of TC meeting session for the translation stuff. Have you discussed with I can't remember the names, but about that? I'm looking at the notes. Yeah, about the translating documentation. So yeah, Sangsu indeed. He will be leading a PTG discussion, but as I can see, you will be sharing a final schedule this week.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm hoping to put some
Okay.
things on there, and I'll share it with you, and then we can work. We can fix it over the next couple of weeks that we have.
Yeah. I say that because I'm not really sure how many people will be around for that. So if we want to have some participations, maybe we should be asking folks whether they should be wanting to discuss with that. So then that's for example, for me, it would be simple. If the meeting would be on my own morning, it would be fine. But if, for example, we have most of the people that are on US, then in between US, I would say in North America and Asia, then it will be better for another time. But for example, Gibby and I will also be being here. So that's why maybe we should be asking people whether they will be around. That was just my question.
Yeah.
Because I think definitely we need some time for Asia folks. I think it's the most is the main point. But then either for their afternoons or their mornings, it would be different given of the folks of
Yeah.
the folks.
I agree, and it's a great feedback, and we do it differently for different teams. And honestly, I guess I need to look back at what I mean Jay or Gansham was doing in the past. So were we trying to get any votes on these topics as well? Should we discuss these topics? Should we not discuss them at the PTG? Is that something that will help with the scheduling?
Yeah, yeah. That could be something we could do.
Mm.
Like for example, for every, I mean, at least for those topics, because we know that at least for like for example for the inclusive language discussion, um, I don't know who asked for that because I don't know any. I'm looking at like at I'm looking at the pad. I'm looking at the pad like line 33,
Mhm.
reviving the inclusive language discussion. Yes, he wants about that because
So then your
Asia
mic's acting up
folks, some
again.
Asian folks
Oh,
will
it's
want
back.
to discuss.
Sorry, could you say the last sentence again?
Oh,
Your mic kind of.
oh, no, no worries, no worries. I was saying to us folks, because what I'm saying is that for translating OpenStack documentation line 2027,
Mhm.
we see that Sangshu will be sharing, but indeed, I think it will be the same for reviewing the inclusive language discussion. Maybe we'll be asking folks whether they would like to be around. Anyway, let's not discuss that much. But yeah.
That's a good point. So I can just add, an interested thing over here, gather some votes from people that want to show up at these discussions, and I'll send this on the mailing list as well for people outside of the TC as well to go at, what topics they're interested in, and I can figure out, that'll help inform when to put this on the schedule or whether to put this on the schedule at all in case some folks are not interested. We do have time as a premium at the PTG, and I know in the past we've had like I think 3 hours, and we usually try to bookend the whole discussion, right? So we have something on Monday very early in the morning and something on Friday very late in the PTG schedule, so that we can get the team's discussions. We're out of the way of those. And I think we'll follow the same pattern here. The only thing is, I think we might need some more time this time, but I'm fairly certain that's what Jay and Kansham also felt in the past. But looking at these topics, they're pretty heavy. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. There might be some opportunity to combine some things with the TNI folks, because there is at least one of those topics on the TC. And Jeremy says that yes, the ocean-based topic was by people in the APAC time zone, but they tell me that they can make it in any time zone. So I'll still try to make it APAC friendly, which might be very early in our day, or we do have the alternate slots. I have to check if those work for them. Right. So we're at the hour, and thank you all for attending. If there's anything more to be said, please do so before I close the meeting on the IRC channel, and where we can hop off from the Zoom call. Thank you all for attending. See you here in the Zoom call next month. And
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you,
Thanks all.
Gautam.
Thanks.